Fire it up, footballers. What is going on here? I'm getting a phone call. Oh no, that's just timer done. Cool. All right, fire it up, footballers. Welcome back. Thanks for everybody in the live chat that was hanging out. Going to give a few minutes here and get a hold of Juan and Men in Red. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. Getting the live show set up. Good. Can you see me or can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Okay, good. You probably won't be able to see me, but you will be able to hear me. That's just a good thing. All right.
Should I keep video on or off? What do you want me to do?
That's up to you. It's up to you guys. I could import it to the call.
Yeah, whatever works. I don't care.
Okay, we're going here. All right. Fire it up, footballers. Let me know how audio is. We got Men in Red here with us. I don't know if you guys can hear him.
Hi. Can you hear me?
We'll find out shortly.
I'm gonna check myself.
Hey, everybody in the live chat, let us know what's going on, everybody. What's up, Andy Garcia, Carl, General John, Nate, Ahan, Jorge? How is audio? Can you guys hear us? Juan! What up, man? What is going on, man?
It's been a while. It's been a long while.
Let's see. I'm working on doing this OBS stuff. Dude, what was that? 3-0. It fell apart there at the end, but I kind of liked what we saw for the first 45 minutes.
It was something. That's really all I got to say about it right now. It was something. Definitely a little bit of frustration going around.
All right, we're set. We got this thing going. No, keep that going. I don't know what that does. 3-0. Darlington Nagby undoes us. I liked what I saw out of the offense. I saw a couple flashes out of Georgie. Barrich was a little quiet. Aliseda looks like he was a little rusty. Frankowski had to bury that first shot, in like the 16th or 18th minute?
It was first 50 minutes, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, they were getting used to a new formation. Tony Miola pointed it out. It was a 4-4-2, switching over to kind of like a hybrid 4-2-3-1, which is really different than that 3-5-2, whatever that they were running before.
A lot better, in my opinion, as well. No one likes that 3-5-2.
Even though the result was, off, I agree. I want to see what they can do with this. I like seeing Madron. I like seeing Jimenez, like what they could do in the midfield. I don't know how you guys felt about those guys.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what you're banking on, really. It's them two mainly being the drivers in the midfield.
I thought Madron was when he got into offensive places, he was creative enough. He had some danger to him, and Jimenez was really kind of like that, the sentinel, the CDM kind of like Madron would kind of drift forward, where Jimenez would kind of drift back, and I like the pairing that we saw there. They need more time. I mean, first game of the season, Caleb Porter team with wasn't this team one of the better teams of the tournament?
Yep.
Yeah.
In Columbus.
Yeah, and they were also missing their best player, Lucas Zellerin. So
yes,
I'm kind of scared to see what would happen if he came, because he was where Eddie and Jr. was. So maybe that first goal doesn't happen, but obviously he's a very talented player. He showed that in MLS's back. So we all thought we caught a break with no Lucas. Turns out it didn't really matter that much, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
I got some notes here. We'll start breaking it down as we welcome everybody to the live chat. Thanks for hopping in here, everybody. I think I'm going to start trying to do this a bit more. Everybody smash that like button, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, follow these guys on Twitter. I got all their links in the description. We're going to try and do this a bit more often. At least I am. Maybe like a post-game live stream. Bring on you guys or whoever else is about. And just break down the game like kind of right after the fact, and just have the live chat in here, and give you guys a place to like talk and distill and right now decompress. Right now, not a celebration, but a decompression for sure. I don't know how you guys are going. Let's. You guys could break into it. I'll read some of these comments here.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the post ranting on Twitter after a big loss. Not as big as the one against Vancouver. But I'm still trying to vent and decompress a little bit after this one. It was disappointing, man. Everyone's excited to get back playing, and this happens.
So this is the fourth game, but minus the 2 that they played at the beginning of the season. So it's 6 games total, right? Is that the count, guys?
Yeah, that was just our 6th game, I believe. It sounds about right.
Sixth game with Wiki, sixth game with pretty much all the same people, but a total different formation, as I mentioned. Ahan said he's done with this club, but I think he's a little I think he's a little brash. I think the offense, what I saw from in the 4-2-3-1 sense, if you give a little bit more time to Aliseda in that 10 role, if you let Frankowski and Georgie fall into a bit of a creative partnership, or a creative role, inside forward types on the outside wings, and I really think that Georgie and Madron are going to start pulling maybe like some switcheroos. I saw it once or twice in the game where Madron pulled the guy and Georgie stepped back for him, and they kind of tried to pull a little 1-2, so I could see like that being a part of their offense. Let Georgie kind of drop back while Madron drives forward, and vice versa. Also, Aliseda dropping into some of those pockets. He just, we need to see a little bit more time for these guys to develop a little bit more repertoire. And Barrick just all over the place. You can see he could do stuff, but everything was wild today.
It was, but that's just the theme of it, really. If you think about it, I don't know. Like, to me, I know going into the season, of course, before everything happened, pandemic and stuff, there was a lot of looking forward to, a lot of new feeling, a lot of expectations. At the end of the day, it stinks because the situation with the pandemic, with the season, it's thrown a big monkey wrench, I think, into everything. So it's hard to draw conclusions. I always maintain that I wouldn't draw many conclusions from MLS's back just because of the circumstances. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so unusual. It's so different, and especially for a new everything. Everything is brand new in the Fire. So I don't know. To me, it's almost like this season. I don't know if I want to say it's a wash, but I think to me this season, you want to get the most out of it that you can, because with everything that's going on now, with all the limitations as far as training sessions and everything like that, it's really hard to really get that much out of a project that is so new.
Great
and it's so raw, and I think you kind of saw that with today's game, and just overall, James, you mentioned all the different looks the Fire have shown. I think that's part of it. I think Wick is still working towards finding a sweet spot as far as his tactical layout, as far as what he wants out of his team. I think we're getting there a little bit closer. You can see now that at least on defense, it's a little bit more established. We'll see if Navarro stays in the long term. The midfield, I think we know what that's going to look like as far as the two in the middle with Jimenez and Medran. They're for sure. Baric is the other one, and Aliseda, just give them time. So it's all such patchwork that I wouldn't really venture to say there's a lot set in stone right now with the Fire. And to me, looking ahead, it's about, okay, where the Fire are from here to the end of the season, and then go from there and build from that. This is year one. It's only been 6 games.
What's crazy is last year we're looking at this as a wash year and we're thinking it's the end of the world. But now that we're in it and COVID's happening, it's probably the best time for a wash year. To be I don't know, to be weirdly honest or frank about it. But it's like, if they're going to have a down year that we're kind of not focusing as much, or, other stuff, and then maybe next year is kind of like that big, everybody gets the COVID, the shot, and we can start going to games again. I don't know if that's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I don't know what the outlook or the outlay is that, but for this to happen this year, I guess it's, like you said, like they're filling stuff out, and they don't have the microscope of the city looking at them in a way.
Honestly, like, if you look at it like that, it's really helpful to the team as a whole that you kind of have this screwed up year where you could figure out the personnel you have, how they play, and in addition, what you need to add on when the summer off season comes, before you start a preseason on the actual brand new post-COVID era season. And so from a developmental standpoint, I don't want to say COVID came at the perfect time, because COVID can never come at the perfect time. It's a global pandemic. But for the sake of the brand new Raphael Wicki, George Height Chicago Fire, there are ways that it could be beneficial. Granted, I don't want to call this season a wash, because I think this, new rebrand, new refresh should still maintain the hype, especially because we still haven't played at Soldier Field. So I still think there are things to look forward to. But for the less positive Chicago Fire community out there who are calling it a wash, there's still a lot of benefit. You could see the development in players and then add on in the future. And that's going to be really beneficial for year 2. And by then, if you don't start seeing results, then, well, something needs to change up, I guess, is how you have to put it, unfortunately.
I got to say, I do like the personnel in this team. When I'm looking at the top half of the roster there on the midfield and the forwards, I like what I'm seeing. And with Herbers as maybe like a depth guy, as maybe a midfielder, even though they just re-signed him for like 3 years for some reason. But I like him seeing him being more of a sub to Badran and to Jimenez. Let Frankowski and Georgie and Aliseda kind of figure out the creativity and the action, and let Beric just go pot goals. That's going to leave CJ Sapong as odd man out unless Beric has an injury or something. I wonder if we see CJ angling for a trade, maybe in sometime in the near future, and maybe. That leads into my other half. I don't like the back half of the roster. I think we're short one good center back. I'm Calvo. I'm not sold on, but more time. Calvo in a 3-man back line. I don't know. I just don't like relying on Calvo. I want to give. Number 22, our rookie kid. What's his face? Victor.
Pineda.
I want to give Pineda.
Mauricio.
I want to give
Victor
Mauricio.
was the dad.
I want to give Mauricio a lot more time to develop, but I want to find that other center back to pair with him. Right back, keep going with Sekulic. Left back, keep going with Navarro or with Bornstein. I like that, but I just need that stalwart defender in that middle besides Jimenez, and I don't think it's Calvo. As far as goalie, Shuttleworth, Sparrow, or one of the 17 or 18-year-old kids. Hopefully someone can emerge out of them. I know that Jonathan Klinsmann just signed for LA Galaxy.
Which is funny enough. But no, Bobby was he had a pretty good game, and after that third goal, he was, I'm sure everyone saw it, very upset with his back line, and for good reason. That back line kind of just stood there. The body language was pretty poor. The man marking was probably worse. And all in all, Bobby played a good game. Like, obviously, Darlington Nagbe's the second goal was world class. It's going to be one of the contenders for goal this season.
Seriously, that goal was gnarly.
It was insane. Nothing he could do there. That's not his fault.
But all of those goals highlighted issues with Fire communication and who was going to take who. The very first goal, Pineda was kind of caught in no man's land. Calvo had to take the back post. Pineda actually had to take the near post. He's caught in no man's land, but he kind of has to take that near post, while Sekulic takes the far guy to cut off the cross. But Frankowski does not follow his runner, and that's the guy who scored, ATN. ATN is just allowed free run into that, and that opens up the scoring. Where Frankowski basically had the same play on the other side, and he did not bury it in the same instance.
And that's something from this game too. I think that it's one of those wrinkles that you see from Wicki, at least since the start of the MLS is back, is that I think he wants Frankowski to really go up and down the field and really help both sides, because when we talk about switching, back 3, back 4, I think to me the proposition lately has been it's a hybrid where you have Sekulic as a right back, but you really don't see him go forward that much. You really see him more focused on holding that right side alongside Pineda, who can slide into the middle and also serve both as that libero, and also who can play from the back. And that to me, that was the first thing that jumped out, was Frankowski especially in this game, knowing that you have Etienne and Santos on either side, and you knew that they were going to overload the wings. That's what Columbus does. And if Frankowski doesn't track back, the Fire got caught with numbers against them time and time again.
That's what led to those goals, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of those things I think that at least Wick is trying to implement. Frankowski sometimes executes it. Sometimes I think the second half he did a little bit better, but it's something he's gonna get that needs work still, and that needs Frankowski to be able to execute. Because otherwise, Pineda is great. Pineda is an absolute gem. I agree with that perception that Pineda is a guy that he's a diamond that needs to be one of the cornerstones for the future. But it's still a work in progress. He's still a work in progress, and you saw it today.
Yeah,
he got exposed. He got exposed in some instances, and he needs protection still. Sekulic can be that guy, but if Frankowski doesn't aid in defending and tracking back to double the wingers, and also to track back when wingbacks go forward, that's when you're not protected. Calvo is a guy he's not gonna really back you up. He's more of a guy who's gonna go at a defender, and someone has to come in and back him up. And those are the little things. And unfortunately, I saw a lot of discussion about people getting flashbacks to recent years, and again, not drawing conclusions, but the defensive work, it's something that, especially with a new coach, it takes time. It takes some time to develop. Pineda is also a guy who's just became a pro. And to me, that brings up a good question: is for looking at the future, what's going to be of Johan Kaplov? I don't know.
That's a good question when he comes back from injury.
Yeah. Where's his place on the team? Because is he going to take the place of Sekulic? I think that's really the only place, because to me, Pineda, he should be the starter.
Yeah.
Calvo, mainly because he, on the left side, he's left-footed, can play, and can also he's also very good at being able to push the ball from the back line and add to the offense. Of course, defensively, he can be pretty wild, but I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, but again, that's part of all this process that we've been referencing, is that there's still so much to figure out, but there's some questions out there that'll be pretty interesting to see, especially with players coming back from injury and players who they might just end up being upstaged by new, younger alternatives.
Carl Jenner.
I still think.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh, thank you. I still think Johan has, in my mind, to play some sort of a starting role in the team. And I'm thinking about how could you integrate him into the starting rotation. And some people in the chat are like, Cap over Calvo, which would be like the most deliberate, obvious change.
Yeah, but he's not left-footed.
That's true. But, I mean,
that's all Calvo's
could be a
value.
serious issue. Yeah, that's Calvo's value and his captaincy, whatever. What about if you play Johan at right back and then slide Boris into center back? Is Boris a lefty? Do we know?
Oh, there you go. Well, maybe instead of Boris, let Boris take right, and then force Pineda to become left-footed.
Listen, Boris is 6'2". He looks pretty strong. I haven't been incredibly impressed with him at the right back position. I feel like he's been really quiet, as opposed to Navarro, who's running all over the place like a madman. So I'd be interested to see how he plays in a more central role. Now, granted, we've seen him play in that kind of 5-back, center-back position, but in a 4-man back line, I'd be interested to see what a back line of Cap, Pineda, Sekulic, and Navarro looks like. Just my 2 cents.
We do need to see some changes, though, because 11 goals conceded. This is from Carl Jenner, John. 11 goals conceded in those 6 games, and only 4 goals scored for. So I think the offense needs a little bit more time to gel. The defense, I think, needs some tinkering.
Oh, absolutely. I think part of the goal drought we've been having was when we were playing with the 5-back, Frankie, who you need to be one of your greatest contributors in
Goal
terms of
drought.
assists.
Goal drought's 3 games, straight games right now.
Yeah, it's getting up there, but
2
he was
games
kind of
in
held
the
up
3-5-2 formation and 1 game in this 4-4-2 formation.
4-4-2 formation. Yeah, and you need to see Frankowski start to get back to what he was back when we first signed him. Super speedy, getting past defenders, solid distribution. Obviously, he was held up a ton when he was playing right wing back, forced to track back all the time. But you really need him to start taking off because really there's no X factor in terms of distribution on this team today. Seda, he had some decent plays. He honestly was impressive.
There were a couple good build-ups. Nate even mentioned that in the chat.
He was a pleasant change of pace from an otherwise not fun game.
I like Georgie. I liked a couple of spots I saw from Georgie too.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, Georgie's another player who I think should firmly have his spot in the starting 11. But I saw this tweet and it was very interesting to me. It was like, you sign a DP left winger, and all of a sudden you're putting him at cam, a position that Georgie would normally play, and now Georgie is shoved on the left wing. What does that mean about Seda? There's a rumor there that he has no weak foot, no left foot, and if you watch that whole game, and MLS defenders are going to quickly find this out about this young man, is all he would do. He would cut to the baseline. He would never cut inside and try to whip one in with his left foot. He's no left foot there. Maybe that's why all of a sudden he's playing cam.
Wow.
Can't dribble on the baseline.
Interesting
That's a
theory.
possibility.
Let's keep an eye out for that, guys. Chat.
Definitely check it out. It's kind of crazy.
Chicago Fire asking, will Wiki be fired at the end of the year? I doubt it. I mean, unless the wheels really fall off. I think he's going to get a second season easily. The way to go is a 3-man midfield. It's from Luke. We need a 3-man midfield. We need a center back to move Pineda into the 6, along with Jimenez and Madron, because both of them don't cover any ground. They're a bit plotters, but yeah, they are plotters a bit. Maybe a bit more creative with the ball. You want them. We have a possession-based roster.
Yeah.
So we need to play possession-based soccer because we have some of our best players are possession-based players, like this Madron guy and Jimenez, right?
Yeah, but again, it goes back to it's still early. I think again, Jimenez came in this year. You gotta give him time to adapt. You gotta give him time to get used to, especially get used to to the speed of MLS. I mean, he comes from Argentina, which is based a lot of physicality nowadays, but it's a different ball game. Again, you got to give him time. Also, I think part of it too is just as a whole, the team needs to work better especially when it comes to transitions. I think that's something that I was looking at MLS's back that I saw. Okay, this is something that they're trying to do that still needs to be worked on more, is the offensive transitions, because when they get the ball back, the Fire, and it showed today with a team like the Crew, who are really good at setting up the defense.
They're disciplined
in themselves. Oh, absolutely, and especially because they crowd the midfield so much, not just in the center, but I mean the length of the pitch. You got to play quickly.
Juan, another thing about Columbus is that they were so positionally. You looked at them on a position chart, and they were exactly where they're supposed to be. Yeah, no, exactly, and that's part of the credit of the Crew, is just that they've been able to develop this organization on defense so quickly, and the way to combat it, and from at least in the game standpoint, is you got to play quickly. We saw that some flashes of it at times. I remember, I think in the first half, I believe it was either Calvo or Jimenez play a ball across 2 lines of defending to Aliseda, and I'm like, that's perfect. That's the kind of things you need to do, because when you get the ball forward to Aliseda, to Beric, to Mihalovic, to Madron, whoever is up there, they have the pace and they have the quickness of mind to overwhelm the center backs, and they just couldn't do it. It just seems like that's something that the Fire still haven't been able to master quite yet. Is, first of all, being open. If you look at the midfield,
most of the players are open, but they're too close to the center back line. So Medran will be open, but he's still way back. There's no link still established in between the center backs and the first line of the midfield and the forwards. That's where you see more. You need to see more of a Georgie stepping in, and Aliseda tracking back and stepping in. I think that's still something that needs to be worked on. Again, Jimenez is new to the league. Aliseda is new to the league. Medran is new to the league. Mihailovic is. I mean, he's been here for a number of years, but he's still developing himself. So again, a lot of talent, the potential is there, and it's great to see flashes of it. But especially that midfield, it's something that also needs time to work, just because of the fact that it's brand new. Up top, I think you do need alternatives to Beric, because Beric, he can do anything. But when you see Beric moving out on the wing, tracking back, who's there to occupy his space? I think that's another one of those tactical aspects that still needs to be worked on. That's a whole list of things. I mean, I can go through the entire thing and name everything that the Fire can still work on. But again, that's the theme of today. I feel like that's the theme of this season. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, I don't really think that this team is offensively functionable with a midfield of Pineda, Medran, Jimenez. And my reasoning behind it is Pineda is very obviously a 6. That's his role, and he's going to play it really well if he's in the midfield. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the combination between Medran and Jimenez, in terms of an attacking standpoint, like I said, it's all about distribution to Beric's feet. I haven't really seen that. And whether or not Seda is the person who's going to come in at that number 10 spot to try to turn this midfield into an attacking threat, whether he's the option is up in the air. Whether you need to bring someone else in, it's up in the air. But from a defensive standpoint, Pineda, Medran, and Jimenez can be a really, really high caliber trio. I just don't think there's enough firepower going forward. Now, Jimenez is supposed to be really good at distribution, long balls, and we've seen hints of that going around, his long balls to the corner. You see
that Georgie ball? That Georgie pass? Whoa.
Georgie pass was gorgeous.
Oh,
absolutely.
My gosh.
That's what we need to see more of from everyone in the front 6, is those type of passes going forward. I feel like every time we get the ball from transition, and it was like this for the first 20 minutes, and I know several people in the chat would agree with me because they were replying like, this is right. Like, we would get the ball and we would either clear it, which we saw so much during the Paunovic era, so much, or we would pass the ball right back to the other team. There was no crisp passing. There was no trying to get possession. It was very rushed. It was very all over the place. And I think you need to bring in a midfielder, a number 10 in specific, who is calm on the ball, technically gifted. Notice how this should be Alvaro Medran in my eyes, but he hasn't shown that quite yet. Who can kind of control that pace and slow the game down, because I feel like we are very rushed in attack, and that's not good, because in my eyes, you could respectfully disagree with me. I don't think we have the attacking power to just counterattack consistently. Not sure it's quite there yet. Like I said, like Juan said, honestly, it's probably about development. Front 6, Beric, Jimenez, Medran, Seda. I've never played in the league before, and that's a big factor into it.
It's huge.
It's a huge factor into it. So I'm taking it with a little grain of salt. Take everything I say with a little grain of salt. But you know what? I still think you need more.
Men in Red, Juan, thanks for joining us here. By the way, everybody, do us a favor, smash that like button. It helps elevate, it helps spread this video to more Fire fans. Fan the flames. You do your part by. We don't get get paid for this, but a like spreads the word, helps spread the Fire. So we appreciate you doing that if you can. It lets us know our work's being appreciated here, and we love having you guys here in the live chat. We see you guys going crazy, and we love that going. That aside, let's start tearing up a couple of these comments and start catching up here. And start closing things down. The resigning of Ben Mesa saying the resigning of Herbers and continued faith in Mihailovic is a waste of space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I only agree with half of that. I mean, that's kind of harsh, though.
Yeah, I think it's harsh. I want to see more out of Mihailovic, and Herbers is, I mean, for a depth piece, but like, is that money going to keep you really from signing somebody else? I don't think so.
No, it's like last year, Brent Branico getting an extension. It's a depth signing mostly.
Yeah.
Herbers is a guy who Wiki values a lot. We've seen that all throughout.
You can put him anywhere.
Yeah, just like Branico. Branico, you can put him pretty much anywhere, and he'll do you a job. And he's a guy who can give you effort. He's a guy who's a consummate professional. Those are the kind of guys you need, especially coming off the bench. So to me, that's what it's about. I think people read too much into the Herbers extension. This is not necessarily an endorsement of Herbers is going to be a starter from here until 2024 now. That's not going to be it. Mihailovic, look, I think Mihailovic, try to get what you can from him now, because the likelihood is he's going to be gone pretty soon. That's still something that's in the works. It's still something that is a strong possibility. It's still something that, at least on his end, from what I hear, they're still working on trying to find them a pipeline to Europe.
Yep, they're trying to get him to Europe.
Well,
he needs to play. They need tape on him.
Yeah. At the same time, I mean, I think lately too, you've seen so many MLS players just make the jump to Europe without having much play. Really, right. Like the FC Dallas kids, for example. So it's something that is just more about management between Mihailovic's camp and whoever they can link up with as far as a club in Europe. So. And that's another aspect of this too, is that Mihailovic hasn't really played under Wiki. I know he started as a left winger in the beginning. MLS is back. He didn't really play much. If you really think about it, I was kind of surprised to see him in the starting lineup today, just because of that aspect. Is good to see, because I think we saw some flashes of what he can provide offensively. But no, I mean, again, don't. I know that. People are coming off of the loss today. They're just ready to unleash what all kinds of takes, and I get it, but just don't read too much into the news this week. As far as
I think so. I think you just answered this question, Juan. Andy's asking, where do you see this team at the end of the year? I've really lost all confidence at this point. I think you just said it. Calm down, relax. It's still early. We're still learning.
Development year.
Dan,
I'm going.
It doesn't mean that the Fire can't make the playoffs. I mean, 9 teams make the playoffs. It's ridiculous. So, and the season just started. We're talking that we have still 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm. And Mickey Mouse Cup,
a lot of time.
And the Mickey Mouse Cup didn't count.
Yeah. So as much as it can be, we developed the rest of the season. I mean, who knows? You can also develop a lot and muster a playoff spot, and then from there, who knows?
I think we talked about this a bit. Dan asking who's had enough time and hasn't produced enough. Has Frankowski?
I don't know, man.
Frankowski is an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally think he should be given the benefit of the doubt. He was thrown into a new position. He probably spent all of the offseason training to play as a right wing back.
Left wing, right back, everything.
He's best situated at a right wing. If he can return to what he was in 2019, a good MLS player, and put up assists, then, we don't have to complain. But let's hope that he can refine that form, assuming that Rafael Wiki continues to stay with a 4-back line and doesn't go back to a 5-back and pushes Frankie back. I think he's in a perfectly fine spot.
I'm not so sure Calvo's has produced enough. I mean, he's had enough time.
No, man. He had one really nice spin or like a turn in the defensive half, and he made the turn and it almost led to a goal. I don't know if you guys recall what I'm talking about.
He can do offense. Defense, he can't do so well, but he's a center back. That's my point.
He just makes him extremely, for a veteran center back who is an international for Costa Rica, which is a very well-respected national team, he's extremely reckless at times.
Preach.
And in a back line that is already slightly unstable, and a new team that is still trying to figure out how to gain chemistry, your captain needs to be one of the calmest players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelvo has time and time again shown how he's not oh crap.
Calm.
What's the word? Not calm.
He's aggressive.
He's all over the floor. He's aggressive. His play style.
He's passionate, very passionate.
Like he's a 17-year-old trying to find his way.
Yeah.
He needs to be more mature in his gameplay, and he needs to start producing some defensive results to warrant his captaincy and to warrant his starting role as a center back.
Ghost of Tsushima is such a beautiful game. Sorry, not contributing to the podcast, guys. That was Nate. Is there a reason we haven't kept a clean sheet yet? This back line, this defense, this goalie, different goalie. No, not Kronholm. Backup goalie Shuttleworth coming in, even though he's a veteran, just getting shoved back in there. This defensive team, look, 11 goals in 6 games.
I think a lot of it was on Kronholm. There were time and time again, Kronholm's positioning was really poor, and that's coming from a man who I played goalkeeper for 15 years. Mm-hmm. So that's stuff I noticed.
Nice.
His positioning was really odd for a MLS level keeper. Now, granted, MLS keepers are not known to be the greatest. Same with the defenses, but for a professional level goalkeeper, I feel like he kind of needs to figure that opponent out. And also, it appears as though when Kronholm plays, his effort compared to Shuttleworth even today for sliding and diving and all that stuff is relatively low. It doesn't seem like that fire factor's there. Like Bobby, who was all like super aggressive into the game. So I wouldn't be disappointed to see Bobby start the rest of the season. Granted, he will because Kronholm's out. But in the future, if Bobby stays with the team, because he is a piece that you could see move around very easily, I would like to see him stay. I don't know if that's considered a hot take at this point.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
We'll keep it that. We'll keep it there. Ahan saying that what did Ahan say? That the LA Galaxy are going to ruin Klinsmann. I also play goalie in a lot of field. Juan, what did you play?
I played some goalie.
Okay.
Goalie
squad. Let's go.
There you go.
That's why we're also
goalie,
we mentally play the game. We're sitting back there. We're playing coach in our head. We're
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And with Kronholm with the goalkeeper situation, it's again, it's also very short term. We know Kronholm was brought in under the previous administration. Mainly because he can play with his feet. He's very good
American.
at that. So again, but he's 30, 34. Mm-hmm. I think that the whole diving situation, it might just be a matter of, his athleticism is just not there anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, I think for the short term, it was good in terms of, okay, you just brought him in, familiarity. A little bit. In the long term, who knows? You have, of course, the young keepers, the homegrowns. You can always bring a veteran, Shuttlesworth. Maybe he can be, a stopgap. But
there could be a USL2 guy out there.
And Sparrow.
Or you just bring someone. Yeah, there's Sparrow. Or just bring someone else from outside who's not, obviously not a DP level guy because you don't have DPs anymore. Available.
Is Kepa available from Chelsea?
Don't think he's ready for the MLS turn quite yet.
Wow. But you can look. South America has plenty of. The good thing about keeper is that you can always find a solid one anywhere. You don't have to look that far to find at least a solid
the Fire have
goalkeeper.
Not looked in any of the right places, though.
And that's
Jorge
the problem.
Bava, Richard Sanchez. We have a great track record with goalkeepers.
Ever since the Milkman left.
Yeah. It's also interesting because both Shuttleworth and Kronholm, your top 2 goalkeepers, are in their mid-30s or lower to mid-30s. So neither option are really long-term options.
Why don't we get Tony Meola back in there?
Might as well.
Yeah, at this point. Or just stick a Slonina or Brady in or whatever, something like that.
Just let him get the EXP, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see in 2 or 3 years whether or not, Wiki, assuming he's still here, goes with the homegrown starter as the future, or Heights brings in a new goalkeeper, which at this point in time, go with the homegrown. I don't want to see another keeper in this club. That'll be 12 since the milkman left, like way too many. Give a go to one of the 18-year-olds, see what happens at this point.
I think that's a strong possibility. I just believe because from what we've seen early on, clearly one of the main objectives here is developing young players.
Absolutely.
I mean, from signing, I really want to know, and I love to get this statistic, is compared to the Nelson Rodriguez Paunovic tenure, how many homegrowns has Heights already signed? Because there's been a lot. This year alone, there's been a lot. And if there's something that happened in previous years, is that the Fire didn't really sign that many. No. If you think about it, I mean, it might have been one a year maybe.
And in fact, they went out of their way to alienate some of their homegrown options. Yeah. Damian Last, Cameron Lindley, just to name a couple off the top of my head. They were very obvious that they weren't interested. So Cameron signed with Orlando, and then Damian went to Fulham. Two guys, Cameron is currently playing for Indy 11, but Damian Last, who's like a really big keeper in the U.S. youth system, is a guy they just weren't interested in.
Andrew Gutman,
if it was Heights, Andrew Gutman, exactly. I'm a Hoosier, so I love Andrew Gutman, but it's like Damian Last under Heights would have been signed immediately. And it's really interesting to see if that homegrown mentality works out in the future.
Exactly, and you compare that to the to the veterans, if you will, or not the homegrown players. Medran's still really young. Like people don't realize Medran's still pretty young. Aliceda's, of course, Aliceda's not even 20 yet. I don't believe. Navarro's young.
Yep.
Pineda's young. Mihailovic is young. You can go down the list. I mean, there's a lot of youth, and clearly that's one of the purposes of this new regime is developing young players. Is building, trying to build from the ground up, which is something that Fire haven't done in years. Really, it's always been patchwork. Bring from the outside, bring from within the league, and just keep sliding pieces in and out. So, and again, that takes time. Those players need to develop. Is a Gaga Slolina, the future goalkeeper? Is a Brady the future goalkeeper? Probably. We'll see, because if they sign them as young as they did, it's clearly for that reason, because they've been. The purpose of this is to give them practice time now with first teamers, with the pros.
Yeah.
So in order for them to be ready as soon as they as possible, really, for them to slide in and be the starter for the Fire for years. It's good. It's good because to me that's the most sustainable approach you can have, knowing that MLS is not really a league where you can bring in high-priced players for prolonged period of time that often. So it's good, and also because, as always, MLS develop young players, sell them, bring young players, develop them, rinse, repeat. It works.
Matt Polster back in town. He's got the start for the Revs. Reports Nate.
Yep.
I'm still a little salty about that one.
I wish he came back here.
Big Matt Polster fan.
Ben Maz, Wiki's emphasis on possession worries me in terms of getting results. There's a lot of linking to be done, says Ben.
Absolutely.
They need more time They need more time.
Yes. But possession shouldn't necessarily mean always, slow, short passing. I think what he's alluding to is correct. There has to be an element of like the play I alluded to early. If you see a way to get a long pass through, find it. I think it's not really about possession. It's more about transition.
Transition and creating chances with that possession.
Exactly. Again, possession when it comes to short passing is like you guys alluded to earlier. If the pressure is too much, where you don't really find players further up the pitch, is being able to pass the ball quickly, short, quick passes, movement, and build from there. Or at least passing to where you can settle on defense, regroup, and then build from there. but I don't think the intent is necessarily to be Man City. Just to play short passes, always tightly, always possession collectively moving off the pitch. I don't think that's the intent. I think the intent really is just to try and play quickly. Again, whether that means play quickly up the pitch with a long pass, a long through ball, or play quickly in terms of being able to move the ball around while the players settle into their positions and build from there.
Juan, I could just listen to you talk soccer all the time, dude. It's awesome. You guys, it's fun talking soccer with you guys. This is awesome.
We like talking.
Thank you.
Jorge wants us to look into our crystal ball here and ask, why did Wiki only make 2 subs for this match?
That is it. I'm glad you brought it up. That is a good
Juan's
question.
Mad.
I don't know.
Juan was ready for this.
Don't you have 5? Don't you have 5?
They do have 5. I don't know. Again, I don't want to read too much into it. But to me, okay, looking to the bench. Well, first of all, there's 2 aspects of this. Number one, is why only 2 subs? Actually, 3 aspects. 1, why 2 subs? 2, why so late? Because I felt like the subs came pretty late too.
Georgie came on 60th minute though. That's when Georgie left.
Elliot Collier came on, so it doesn't really matter.
And that's my third question. Elliot Collier. I mean, I don't. Again, Wiki looks like he's trying something with Collier because he came back in MLS's back to get in minutes with the Fire. I'm on the camp where I don't see it either, honestly, and especially today because we saw him play more of a deeper position. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, coming on for Mihailovic, he was more of the that left interior midfielder. I don't know. I don't see it again. I think that should have been Bronico, if anything. And if you look at the bench, okay, you turn to the bench and you see what? You see Bronico. You see her. You may be seeing Herbert when he's healthy. Sapong, CJ is always a great option off the bench.
CJ was not there.
He was in California.
That's the thing. Oh yeah, no, and I'm saying like in general, for the future, but especially today. Again, like what you guys just said, especially today, if you turn to the bench. What do you really see? It's like a lot of MLS teams have this problem. You mentioned the Galaxy. I feel like the Galaxy, Guillermo Barcelona looks at that bench and he goes and he sees, okay, well, I got 5 subs, but do I have 5 players to bring on who can contribute? I don't know. That's another thing about this Fire team is, young players have to develop, but that also comes to the expense of not having depth in the short term.
I think it's also important to note, though, that like Cap, CJ, and Luca all weren't available for. So you put those 3, and your bench becomes a lot more appetizing. But like I said, several times already, it's really unique to have a really high caliber bench in MLS, and I think that's something that the Chicago Fire could really capitalize on by bringing in 2 or 3 more players that could help enforce your bench to the point where if you are down 1 or 2-0. You got some guys with fire you can shove out there so you don't have to play guys like Elliot Collier.
Wiki, are you listening? Take advantage of your 5 subs.
Listen, you got a brand new owner who everyone likes because he said he's willing to spend. Put a few more guys on the bench, get a few more young guys, maybe make a couple trades, offload some dead weight that can help enforce a certain position, specifically center back, maybe winger, maybe cam. So you don't run into the issue of a weak bench.
Here's the subs. Azira, who's, would you call him, replacement rate?
A veteran CDM, but you already have
there you go.
Bornstein, also on the bench, left back. Yeah. Both Bornstein you could have brought on, I don't know. Bronico.
Bronico's viable, yes.
Bronico left on the bench. Collier came out. Gutierrez made the
Not
bench.
viable.
But he's a kid. Herbers
exactly.
Was injured, probably not coming off. But yet still made the bench. Ohmsberg made it as the CB backup. This he's the trade guy. He's the guy we got.
You got to keep in mind that Minnesota didn't value Ohmsberg at all. In fact, he played for their
and they also didn't value
minor league team.
They also didn't value Calvo.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, that was. I mean, that's a whole
We
That's a
should
whole
stop
different-
taking Minnesota rejects.
That's a separate issue on
There's
its own.
the, there's the lesson there. Reynolds the second was also on the bench, and Sparrow.
Reynolds is an option. Sure.
Yeah. We haven't seen him play yet, so shove him in at left back.
Where's Gutjar?
He's injured.
Gutjar's injured.
Oh,
he was
Gutjar's
out.
injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, Gutjar, it could be an too. He can play full back. He can play in the midfield. He can do. But again, think about all the names you just listed out. Gutjar, young. Reynolds, young.
And
Armsberg, still young and unproven. That's the thing with this team is those players have to develop. So I mean, I agree with you guys. I feel like if the Fire, and that's going to be a telltale sign of what they look at this season to be, is how they handle the transfer market in terms of, okay, are we going to handle the season to develop the young players and then 2021, have a bench, a squad that is deeper just simply out of developing your own players from 2020? Or are they going to go out in the market and bring in some other pieces who can bolster the bench and make a run at the playoffs?
Yeah, and I think Fire fans should note that this is not the finished squad. There are going to be moving pieces. Like CJ will probably be traded or out of contract. Bronico might be traded because he's not being utilized. There are tradable pieces, and there are also pieces that are moving around in the transfer market already. Some rumors going out there. So there'll be reinforcements coming, but will you see them this season? Maybe not. So right now you focus on what you have. You play your young players. You see what they're capable of, so you can be prepared for next season. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're not going to stop looking. Wiki already said it this week. He said that they're always looking at the transfer market for options. So if an option comes in that is viable, they're going to go for it. And I don't think there's a doubt. So I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised either way. I think anything can happen in the secondary window. I can see them just stick it out and write it out with this team, and again trying to develop the players they have now, or maybe they can bring in one or two pieces that maybe they can contribute to the team. I don't know. I mean, again, it's just really hard to jump at any certainties. Right,
we know exactly what this team is, Juan. What are you talking about?
Damn it!
We know exactly where they're going to finish, exactly how many goals they're going to score, how many goals they're going to let up, who's going to be on the squad at the end of the year. We know today.
Never know with this team. You never know with this team.
I'm totally. You really don't. Yeah. But I think there's one thing you can say for certain though. Mm-hmm. There's a project. I think there's. I can say that. Yeah. With certainty is that Fire fans can rest assured. And I'm saying this again from a non-fan perspective, an objective perspective, which I know can be cynical at times, and Fire fans, I know from experience, don't like to hear sometimes reality when it comes to the team. But I can tell you for sure, 100%, there's a project here. There's something brewing. There's something certain from the top down, all the way through the organization, not just on the first team level, but down at the academy, at scouting. There's a big leap of quality, I believe, from the previous administration. So rest assured that they're at least attempting to build something here. So just give it time. Just
you heard it here. You heard it here at Spinning Fire YT. Absolutely,
Fire fans are known for their patience, guys.
Juan, I think you nailed it, though. I think that there is a project here. And really, right here at the 32nd minute of this game is when I wrote, I think I like this Fire team. I think I like what I knew that there's I like the project. I like the roster. I like the personnel. I like the ideas. There's stuff going on here that was not going on here during Paunovic's tenure. And there's something here, just like you said. There's something here, and I'm seeing something take form into existence in front of me when I'm watching this game. Even though they didn't score, even though they've had 4 goals in 6 games, they just switched to a brand new formation. There's promise here. There's something here. Nate asking, what number 10s have we had in the few past years? Marty always says, have we had Nganch yet? No, it's
Sean Maloney.
I mean, Nico
Is he
Gaitan
number 10?
last year.
Nico Gaitan.
I forgot. I forgot about Nico
Nico,
Gaitan.
we had
Remember?
Gaitan.
Yeah. Remember him?
Wow,
Remember
we had,
Gaitan?
we had
Yeah.
Gaitan for a season, and they did nothing.
Yeah. I mean, and again, that's
And Schweinsteiger.
there's a whole
Katai,
story.
Nico.
Yeah, there's a whole story that
Dude.
goes well beyond the playing field
That's a
with
story.
Nico Gaitan.
That's a story of maybe the most waste, I think, in MLS history of talent.
Close.
Katai,
Close to it.
Nikolic, Schweinsteiger, Mihailovic,
Frankowski.
Frankowski.
Yeah. Quality offense. Couldn't do much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think Carl Jenderjohn is saying, I think we didn't make many subs because our bench really lacks quality.
Which is true.
Luke saying, Nate, we haven't had one probably since Marco Papa, a number 10. Marco Papa. Has it been that long? Brian Battle checking in saying, wasn't today Aliceda's shot at that number 10 role? Do you guys think he's earned a second nod at it?
I personally think he's a better fit there than at left wing.
How fast is this guy? And does he not have a left Does he not have a left foot?
You know, rumor on the mill, and if you watch his gameplay, that's what it looks like. But let me tell you, this man's super quick. He's got decent dribbling. If he can learn to develop that left foot and put a little weight on him, because he's not a big guy, he's very short. He could be something dangerous. Is it DP quality in MLS? That remains to be seen.
Nate saying should have moved this team to Austin.
Absolutely.
They already got a team. They're good.
Sorry,
Save the crew, right, guys? Save the crew so they can beat us 3-0.
The bench lacks a lot of attacking quality. Jimenez and Madron cannot play as the defensive CDM shielding the back line. I would play a 4-3-3 with Madron and Jimenez. And probably, Pineda.
But that's part of it. We don't know. Mm-hmm. We don't know because, again, is Eliseda really a number 10? We don't know.
And
we don't know.
Madron?
I feel like...
Exactly.
I feel because I feel like today, I don't know if I feel like at times Eliseda was kind of being an attacking midfielder. At times it felt like he was more of a second striker. Because if you really think about it, I feel like Eliseda as a number 10 works best if you have two players up top.
Yeah.
Especially with knowing Alberic knowing how he moves about the field. Again, as I mentioned before, if Beric moves about, who occupies that space?
Here's how you fix that.
No one does.
Frankowski no longer tracking back. Just let Frankowski worry about exposing the forward.
I would advocate for that. Why not? I mean, and again, if you think about that,
you let Georgie be a playmaker kind of on the left, and you let Frankowski be that speedster to open things up on the right.
And it's a diamond. It's a diamond, and it works in terms of, a diamond works because Jimenez can... I think Jimenez would work maybe better as a guy who can slide in between the center backs. Because he has more of a landscape to work with. Is Sekulic fast enough to be able, because a diamond also relies on fast wingbacks who can go up and down the field. Can Sekulic do that? We don't. Navarro can do it. Maybe Branico, maybe Reynolds. Even Kapelhoff did it with Paunovic. Maybe. And Frankowski, all you have to worry about if you're Frankowski is making the runs and someone who can put him through in space. There you go.
That's all you need.
We fixed the fire.
We just fixed them, guys.
That's
Wiki. Tune in right now during whatever minute this is. Guys, mark this minute. Big thing, Luke says, big thing for me is that this team needs a tactical identity. We haven't had one since the late 2000s, and that's a long time. Now, I'm going to say, wait, Luke. We're 6 games into the project. We're 6 games into this identity. And I'm actually liking what I'm seeing. Like this little indicators, a little sign. So let's give it, how many more games do we got to give it? 10, 15 a season? One? Only one?
I'm giving them the rest of the season.
But I think we're going to see a tactical identity form, but where we didn't see one form with Paunovic.
Yeah.
At least since 2017, yeah.
I don't think your tactical identity is going to be fully developed until you determine who your players are on the field because we're still trying to figure out what our back line's going to look like. There's a lot of moving parts in regard to that. Is Pineda going to be a center back? Is he going to be a 6? That's 2 total different tactical changes right there. Now you look at Say, is he going to be a cam? Is he going to be a left wing? Is he going to be a guy off the bench that you brought down via TAM and brought in a new guy? What are you going to do with him? Sekulic, right back, center back, what is his role? Is you can't create a tactical identity until you know what you have to work with.
And so, I thought we saw that. I thought we saw a little bit what we do have to work with in this game. We saw a little bit what we got to work with Madron. We saw a little what we got to work with Jimenez. And like now that you're starting to figure out what you have to work with, Wiki hopefully can make these little adjustments that we're all talking about. Jorge,
and a good coach can make those adjustments.
Yes, absolutely.
Jorge saying, I wonder if Sparrow gets a shot to try and compete for the starting goalkeeper. I'm sure he already is getting a shot. Kind of wish I could see him play.
And it sucks because, just really quick, there's no Open Cup.
Yeah, there's no Open Cup.
No room for experimentation.
That really, I think it's a blow for this team because that would be a great showcase for a lot of those players who might not get a shot this year at all, really.
Yeah.
Noah Epstein checking in saying, what a show! Thanks, Noah. Luke Matthews saying, Noah! Guest appearance. Noah saying, Kepa's trash. What's up, boys?
He's a Chelsea fan, so of course he says that.
Of course. Nate saying that he misses Sean Johnson. I really do.
Did you guys see Sean Johnson today against the Red Bulls, what he did?
No, I didn't see it.
No. Check it out after. It's the reason they lost. You don't want Sean Johnson anymore. Trust me.
Oh, wow. Oh, dang.
And didn't we see one from him last year? Like, that was ridiculous, too. Yes. That made the worst of MLS. I could see it in my mind. I remember it. I could
he's so back and forth. It's incredible.
He could stop goals usually. Who knows? I also heard a rumor. What about the idea of him coming back here to solve the goalkeeper woes? That's how you solve this curse.
James, you heard that rumor?
From you?
From me?
Was that you?
Not me.
No, I
didn't hear that from me.
Okay. I miss Jorge Bava. We should have kept Damian Las.
Damian Las.
I mean, yeah, that's an obvious one. Of course.
Yeah. We need Gilberto back there too, says Nate.
Nope.
Put the whole bench in goal. Why can't you? You got 5 subs, says Jorge. Donald Hagenwell checking in. Slonina's been kept with the team despite being the youngest on the team. He's also like the tallest guy on the team. So
true. It is really interesting because the team's pretty short. Like outside of Pineda, Sekulic, and Jimenez.
The other defender that we mentioned his name earlier.
Amsberg.
From Minnesota. Amsberg, yeah.
Yeah, Amsberg. Yeah. Calvo's too short to play center back.
Miola mentioned this, though, that the defensive back line is just one of the shortest in MLS. And I thought about this really as they were lining up to take a free kick against us. That's actually going to really hurt us on free kicks, having the shortest back line in MLS, or one of the shortest back lines in MLS. That's going to really hurt you on free kicks and set pieces around the goal. On corner kicks, everything.
Yep. We've done pretty well defensively on set pieces, though, compared to previous years.
Georgie's still on the corner kicks. I like Georgie on corner kicks. Donald Hagenwell saying,
great pieces. Yeah,
Donald Hagenwell saying Nelson Rodriguez signed 8, Heights has signed 7. Nate saying, what was the center back we just chunked?
What? Think about that. In one, not even one season, the Fire have signed as many as they signed in the last 3-4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and they waited till these guys were all, with the exception of Pineda, all these guys were signed before they entered their college years. All of Nelson, Calistri was playing for Northwestern, Connor was for Wisconsin. All these guys were already 2-3 years in college by the time Nelson wrapped them up. Heights is like 16, 17, get in the squad, let's go.
Wow, that's true.
That shows confidence.
Rodriguez,
if I was a homegrown,
Moniz, right?
I would be confident because they're not dragging this out. They're not waiting. They're being like, you know what? We like you. Come in the squad, show what you got. As a homegrown, I'm like, I love that. Let's do this.
Wait, weren't you going to school with Moni and then he's gone now?
Family friend.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the project we're talking about, guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the project.
That's it.
Some of this youth influx. Not just Carl Jennerjohn saying not just homegrown, but also missing players such as Chris Mueller. If Chris Mueller was here down from Orlando, he's from Chicago. That would have been an awesome player to have here.
I mean, him, Reggie Cannon.
Woo, that'd be awesome.
There's plenty of them.
That would be awesome. Both those guys would be great.
Tyler Miller.
Reggie Cannon's off to Europe, though, so we're not getting him for sure.
Matt Shabel.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Chicago,
Chicago from Chicago guy. Yeah.
Matt Shabelman was asking who all the 8 signings are. Duty, Connor, Lillard, Mihailovic, Kalistri, Gutjar, Reynolds, and Slonina. They're
signed at like 14 years old. Yeah.
Don't even start on Vincent.
The last 2 are the only ones I believe that were not in college when they were signed, and I'm going to fact check that right there. But
Nelson,
which was, I mean, and that's one of the things about it too is that because with Nelson, he always preached, okay, let them go to college. And I'm saying just let them go completely, but he always prioritized, players going to college.
Let him go back to college. Even Brandon Vincent, let him go back to college.
Damn. So, I mean, and you look at a guy like Heights coming in, and it's just signing them left and right. So that tells you a little bit of I feel like a little bit of a cultural difference, between the two. Because Heights comes, again, from a background where there is no such thing as players going to college while playing in a professional academy and then signing a pro. Or there's no drafting. There's none of this. I mean, I think
college draft is dead this year.
Maybe that's an advantage, maybe, but you're still going to have players who are going to opt for college.
I wonder how Jiggly's going to take that, too. Jiggly checking in. Speaking of Jiggly, I have no intelligent input as I wasn't paying full attention to the game, but just very disappointed with the lack of anything from this team that was looking so promising. Jiggly.
Kind of a story of 10 years.
If you weren't looking, I'll say this. If you weren't looking close, there was promise kind of like in the first 30 minutes, and then the promise kind of dropped off. Maybe there's some promise there. Mm-hmm. We're thinking we see a little. We see something there. We're seeing a spark of something there that wasn't there when Paunovic was there. When Schweinsteiger was there, I was not seeing this spark when Schweinsteiger was there, except for like that 17-game miracle run
in 2017.
2017.
Yep. And then they got thrashed in the playoffs. So that was fun.
Schweinsteiger tried. He tried really hard.
He tried.
He had the pieces. He didn't have the coach.
Last season, they absolutely had the pieces. They did not have the coach. DJH saying you can use a sad anime GIF and it'll probably be good. Honestly, but Jigs, we need your wisdom, says Jorge. Jiggly will be rewatching tomorrow, and you'll be able to check him out either on here or on his podcast, the Sad Boys FC FC podcast. Great podcast I was listening to earlier today. Rewatching tomorrow, might put one of those angry threads out on about a specific moment. Collier is not good enough, says Jiggly. DJH says, good guy, crappy player. Good graduate of Loyola. Jiggly saying, Wiki keeps seeing something that isn't there. Jiggly saying what you said earlier. Yep. DJH saying, I think it's because he could play winger and forward, and he's tall. Kind of like why he likes Herbers. Herbers can play a lot of positions.
Maybe. That may be, but I mean, again, if I don't know how long Wiki can hold Collier. Collier doesn't do anything. I mean, he might play positions, but if he doesn't play him well, I mean, how he can get minutes?
Exactly.
Collier,
go on.
He's pretty talented, but the reason he's so infuriating to watch is because he's a very selfish player. He attacks the defense. If there's one player, he will attack the defense if there's 4 players, and he won't give the ball up. So if he somehow learns to utilize the people around him to help, he might turn into something, and that's a might. He might turn into a very useful, guy who puts pressure on the back line in the 88th minute type of guy. But until then, he's not great.
Yeah.
Jiggly saying Fire need more domestic depth, and that may take a while to develop. Yep, we're talking about their depth that's coming along. Bizarra, Jiggly saying I'd like an extra attacking sub, attacking depth, whatever. And Calvo's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
That's Jiggly checking in there. Thank you, Jigs, for checking in. Sapong is the biggest one, and he's out of contract this year. So it may just be easier to wait. I think you could trade Sapong, get some value.
Absolutely. They won't. I don't see them extending him. His contract is worth a lot of money, especially because he got a bunch of those extra points for getting goal records and stuff like that in 2019. And the fact that he's not even going to probably be starting in this lineup, you can't pay him that much. And since he's still valuable to the league, trade him before
Yeah.
someone can pick him up on a free.
Uh,
Absolutely trade him.
Nate saying to play Almsburg versus Cincinnati. If you're going to play against anybody, absolutely play him against Cincinnati.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, why not?
As long as Lacati is not back.
Locadia. Jurgen, Jorge, FIFA 15 Super Wonder Kid. Jorge Jaimes saying, I think it's funny how Reynolds played against Cruz Azul last year, who were one of the toughest opponents the Fire have faced recently, but hasn't been played when we face off any other team in this league.
I mean, by Cruz Azul, like, that was... Paunovic sat a lot of people for that game. I mean, that was more about really resting players. I mean,
that's play Cruz Azul
in the weird Gold Cup thingamajigger, whatever.
The Leagues Cup,
the
inaugural Leagues Cup. Yeah,
I don't remember doing that
for the CONCACAF Championship. We got Rickrolled real quick.
Okay, that's probably why I chose to forget it.
Yeah,
I mean, they packed the stadium though.
They did.
But but Reynolds, I think Reynolds is a guy who deserves a chance, honestly. I feel
got like Navarro in front of him, unless he can play right.
And Bornstein.
But he can't play right. That's the thing. Like, I feel like he could. We know, like, from his youth days, he can play both. So I think, if anything, I would love to see him some minutes on the right. Try him out in place of Sekulic. Maybe if you slice Sekulic in the center, then give Reynolds a chance. Again, if you with the Frankowski point is he clearly values guys with speed who can cover ground. Reynolds is that guy. Reynolds can be that guy. I think if you give him a shot, and we'll see. We'll see if he's still pretty raw because he's still so young. And if he's not, I think he can jump right in.
Play him on the right against Cincinnati. Put Olmsberg and Sekulic in the center. See what they got against Cincinnati, and then you can get a little tape on these guys.
This season, he's going to sit everybody in.
Just start.
Right.
Don't play to win this season. Just start play to develop these guys and see what you got.
Why not? At this point, do it.
Jiggly
if Reynolds turns out to be something great, then that's just another great defensive depth piece you have in the future.
And if you don't, you go back to what you've been doing before.
Exactly.
And you reevaluate the situation.
Jiggly saying they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Hiding in plain sight. Patience of saints. There's something there that wasn't there before. I'm just reading some cliches.
Jiggly's really negative today. It's disappointing me.
Jorge saying some ice cream nachos. Will they save us? Gaitan is a football mercenary, says Jorge. Carl Jenner. No.
I don't think he's a football mess. No. I don't think he's that. I don't think it was him. Like again, the Gaitan thing. It's on all fronts. Yeah, he came to the Fire, and we know that, of course, he always had an eye for Boca Juniors or going somewhere else. We know, but again, I think
Boca Juniors.
But I also feel like on the club because. Him and Paunovic, we know that they didn't click.
No.
And he, knowing that he wasn't going to stay in MLS, especially having a chance to go back to Europe. Like
Gaitan wants to play offense. Paunovic plays not soccer. So
I mean, I think if Gaitan would have come in this season, there would have been a good chance of him sticking around.
Gaitan on this team?
That's the piece you need. That's the piece you need. I'm telling you, that number 10, that talented number 10.
Gaitan on this team. Whoa.
Again, I don't think it was so much more Gaitan being a mercenary as more as he came in, the Fire could have kept him, they could have made him want to stay, and he would have stayed. I have no doubt he would have stayed.
Carl Jenderjohn saying famous last words are shaken. Number 10. Jiggly saying since Grazzini.
Shout out to Urshakin, yes.
Jorge saying Nacho Alicedia played good today. I thought he played okay. I want to see him work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see him be more active as far as the constriction. Because again, I think he's also a guy who tends to get the ball and just take off. But he never got that spot. Being a number 10.
If you want him to be you want him to be a Miguel Almiron, but you got to give him you got to give him a little bit the place to get the speed going.
He's also really young and
yes, exactly.
Like MLS is such a unique league in the fact that it's not as technically gifted. It's all physical, and he needs to
Yes.
find a way to navigate that because he has the pace. He does not have the size, like I said earlier. So once he figures out how to navigate all these bigger CMs and CBs getting on his butt, and figures out what he needs to do about it, there's promise. There's a lot of promise. But until he bridges that gap, the developmental stage for him is going to be a struggle.
DJH asking if we should ask Jaumera to come back. I think he's basically done.
Fan favorite for me.
Fan favorite,
a
big fan, but
Absolutely.
I think he's, I think he's probably close to done.
He would come back.
I'm sure he would come back. That's an awesome guy of heart that you got in here. He's Chicago Fire guy for life for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jiggly saying this entire season's a wash to me. I could agree with that. Yeah, just develop the kids, play the kids. Where's Michael Harrington? Asked Nate.
Nowhere near Chicago.
Nowhere near
where he should be.
Probably North Carolina coaching. This back line went downhill after Jaumera left, says Carl. DJH saying John Johnson's the guy that can be the future USMNT keeper or Sunday League. Jiggly saying, you heard it from Sad Boys. Sad Boys made a joke in the last episode about the Sean Johnson Kurtz. That's where I heard it from Jiggly. That's where I heard it. I heard it on Jiggly's Sad Boys episode. By the way, shout out to Sad Boys FC. Follow, good follow. Good podcast. Ben Mouse is saying, to be a Fire fan, you need a Wante. Sean Johnson.
Wante, yes.
Mihalovic. Nelson comes from the NCAA coaching background, I think, says Jiggly. The Fire need to field their own team in USL Championship, USL League One. I agree. They got some loans, but if they could field a full team, awesome.
I mean, sure, and I'll leave with this because I gotta bounce. I gotta get off to work. But
all right. Thanks for hanging out here, Juan.
Again. Oh, of course. I mean, anytime. It's always fun. I think I'm glad you mentioned that. 'Cause again, I think that should be the approach for this season. Is that again? There's something concrete. There's a foundation for something that needs development. Again, just be patient, and I'm pretty sure we'll come back again after the Cincinnati game and say the same thing, and every game after that. Say the same thing because, of course, everybody overreacts after a game, especially after a loss.
Chicago Fire 2. Juan just confirmed it. They're coming.
Yes. No, they are. If, they stay the course and the players that they bet on develop, they'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
On that note, thank you
Juan,
for having me.
Thank you so much,
anytime.
man.
We love you, Juan.
Anytime, for sure.
All right, Juan. Have a great rest of the night. Good luck with work.
Bye,
We'll see you
Juan.
later.
Thank you.
We'll start closing down here, boys. Juan,
Sure.
are you good? Anything else?
Yeah, he's out.
All right,
He's
Juan's
gone.
Juan's the best, dude. That's awesome.
It was fantastic.
All right, we'll start shutting here down. We'll start answering the final few questions. Everybody in the live chat, thank you so much for joining us. Now, after the fact, everybody listening now during our podcasts on iTunes or on Google Play or Spotify, whatever you guys listen to us on, or on YouTube. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for joining us on the live chat. Thanks for supporting us. I'm going to try and do this a bit more where I get the live chat going, maybe as the second half's ending. Get it started where people could kind of start gathering in the live chat, start talking about the game, especially if we're going upset or it's going well. Who knows? And then get whoever I got as guests going and start the stream kind of right after the game ends and give you guys a little time to kind of talk to at the same time. I think that's really fun and think it's really cool because I was on the live chat too as I was watching the game. I'm like, this is fun. I'm talking with Ahan and a couple of other people. It was a blast. So thanks for joining me on the top of the hour and at the bottom of the hour here, boys and girls. Much appreciated. Men in Red, thanks for joining us. Juan, thanks for joining us. I'm going to answer the last few questions here before we start shutting it down. And as always, like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you actually get notified when we go live. That's the big thing. Hit that bell icon.
Do it. What he said.
And Men in Red's going to be coming out with his podcast here soon. He's going to be challenging me for Mantle. Or for Sad Boys or Northlot or whoever or Matt Campbell's Campbell's podcast for biggest Chicago Fire fan podcast. But either way, more the merrier. Listen, subscribe, and fan those flames. Jorge saying the way we can develop our homegrowns and send injured players down there to get them back into the rhythm. Also on the topic of college draft, this would be a golden opportunity to scrap it altogether. Just end it. Yeah, probably. Yep. Especially if more and more teams are getting USL teams, and more and more kids are getting plucked before they even make it to college. Less and less of those college players, those Jack Harrisons, are going to be coming through.
Can I comment on that real quick? I
Yeah.
think what they should do is every college player who's looking to play in MLS who is not affiliated with a MLS academy should have the right to sign with any team they want. And I think you should reward quality MLS scouting from the college position to teams who are really interested in taking that route.
Oh,
because there are, as proven the last several years, like
big likes.
There are a few hidden gems. Jack Harrison, for one, this I have a mind blank, but there's more. There's not many, but there's some. And so if an MLS scout says, hey, like, we see this guy, we want him, the draft, it's just kind of silly at this point. Mm-hmm. Let them go out and take a risk and sign this guy. And now that gives, the opportunity for college kids to be looked at by every single team instead of just being drafted by one. And,
right.
There's a 50% chance he doesn't even make the team in the first place.
Absolutely. Or at least going to their USL squads and all that stuff, all those small ranges and stuff. They were talking about that, actually. Paul Tenorio and Sam Stexel were talking about that. They're trying. They want to do away with it, and, that'd be a good discussion to have. So to take the governor off the MLS is exactly what you said. Free him.
Hold on.
Jiggly says Jack Harrison was not a hidden gem. He's mad. He was an NOIFC homegrown.
Jiggly,
who got thrown into the draft.
Let's calm down, Jiggly. Come on now.
But the league said it wasn't legal. He's right. And the Chicago Fire had the first pick in that year, and so they in the league and the NYCFC and everybody had to collude to basically give Jack Harrison away back to NYCFC because otherwise Jack Harrison was just not even going to stay in MLS.
Yeah. Nah, he's too talented. Now he's in the Prem. Good for him.
Corrales is coming back. I'm reading some people saying something about Corrales coming back.
Totally
Anyone
a joke.
know?
Totally a joke, Shirley. Totally a joke.
DJH saying, are we bringing back the Chicago Sting? Nate saying, bye, Juan. I don't think the Chicago Sting. But wait, what is Chicago Sting as your USL team instead of Chicago Fire 2? I like it.
It'd be a cool alternative jersey, special jersey once every season or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Be kind of fun, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely fun. DJH saying, oh, God, could you imagine the 2-1 comeback in 2011 against DC with this live chat? Dude, this live...
That's great.
and actually, as Men in Red was saying, too, we'll try and do, because of the COVID implications of the season, it's probably going to make it so we can't attend as many games. So we'll try and have a few live streams during the game, like throughout the game, where we'll talk and break it down. We don't want to do that all the time. It's a lot.
Maybe we could do one for the Return to Soldier Field.
Yeah, maybe we do that. An idea. We'll start figuring that out here. We'll start banning that about here. But that's kind of what we'll start doing here, and I'll try and start focusing more on having post game live streams with you guys, and let our other wonderful podcasts break down the Fire after that. And, we'll all find our niche world here. DJ H saying he's big into fitness on Instagram. I think he's become a fitness coach. And he's talking about Jonathan Campbell. Wish I was given more chances to play in high school, says Nate. Oh, man, that stinks. That's true. Dude, that's all of us, right? I was a backup goalie. Hello again, Jiggly, says DJ. Nate says I played center back. Jiggly saying
great position.
Jack Harrison was in the NYCFC farm system since before NYCFC was in MLS. The league said he couldn't be homegrown. The Fire leveraged this position to get Vincent.
I never knew that was a thing. Pretty interesting. And
Chicago Fire asking, have either of you seen the new logo? No, I have not.
No, I haven't.
No, we have not. If you want to somehow textually describe it to us, go whatever changes have had. We'll read it out here.
You think that's the real Chicago Fire?
Whoa.
It's the
real Chicago Fire here in the live stream.
They are breaking the new logo live.
Breaking news, Fire. Everybody, live chat.
That's the easy way to get views right there.
Chicago.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's cut that clip. Breaking news, Fire. Chicago Fire is in the live chat, breaking out the new crest. We're going to find out what the new logo is.
That's great.
Men in Red, do you have any other final thoughts as we close it down here? Everybody in the live chat, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, toss out your final thought here. We're gonna shut it down, and we're gonna start closing it down.
No, I mean, thanks for having me, James. It's always a good time hopping on.
Dude, it's a blast.
Live chat's fun. You guys have some good jokes and some actually really good insights into the game. It's great to see. Keep your head up. I know, from my page, I'm not the most optimistic person, but you got to keep your head up. That's what being a Fire fan's all about. There's good things going on. It'll be a while. This is a developmental year. We'll figure it out. Keep your head up.
Absolutely.
That's all I got to say.
Second that emotion. Great work there. And I had somebody, a DJ, asking about which of you gets Tyrus to join the podcast. So actually, I'll tell you this. I've discussed with Tyrus a few times about getting a podcast going. He's he's very much about he or she. Actually, I don't know if it's a he or she. I don't know.
No one knows.
But
it's the magic of it.
We're talking about getting it going, but we want to meet, we kind of want to meet some sort of stipulation or do some sort of something good with it. So a few weeks ago, we actually tried. I put out the challenge, and the Spitting Fire and the CF97 came up with about 200. Me and Tyrus talked about we're going to put out We put up $1,000 challenge because he did it before, where he put up $1,000, said to find out what the new information. People did it that day. We put out a challenge a few weeks ago with that, saying if we get to $1,000. Tyrus will come on the show. Didn't get to $1,000. We actually made 200, which is still 20%. 200, that's nothing to sniff at. I was very happy to help.
Still a good amount.
The Chicago Fire. By the way, links for that in the description for Chicago Fire for food. Always help out food consistency. It's awesome. Food and consistency. Be a hero. It'll help you feel good. Even if you give $5, you're giving somebody rice or helping our community, and it goes it goes a long way, and it's awesome.
Yep.
But Tyrus Tyrus is the training soccer ball. But anyway, long story short, Tyrus is probably going to come on the show here sometime. We got to figure out a way to disguise their voice. So it'd have to be weird. It'd be like a weird, some weird voice that disguised them, so that front office couldn't figure out who it is and all that. But we're gonna try and tie it to some sort of charity event or something like that, or something good. And we'll get Tyrus on the show, and if you guys want to make that happen, keep your eyes out, because we were already in talks, and we can make it happen. But it's about, we want to make it happen at the right time for everybody, and make it special and fun. Also, it'd be cool if Tyrus had some cool news to drop on us, and he mentioned that. He's like,
there's always news, my friend.
He's mentioned. He's like, it'd be cool if I had a few fun things to drop on your podcast. So let's save up. Let's save up, and he's saving up a few bombs right now to drop. So we'll see how it goes here, boys and girls. Jiggly saying, make Tyrus sound like an anime girl.
I was thinking more Mickey Mouse.
I don't know if you can go you can't go a whole hour listening to Mickey Mouse like this. A whole hour? Oh my god.
That'd be funny.
It's a whole hour of. Do you have an anime voice? I can't do one.
Oh no, I do not have an anime voice. Not even gonna embarrass myself.
I don't have one.
Jiggly probably got it.
I know, Jiggly. If you were here, you'd be able to whip out the anime voice. Oh, Jiggly. I started this new thing called Penalty Cow. It's this web comic that I totally just made up today out of nowhere just because I was bored waiting for the game to start. It was really funny, and it's just this Penalty Cow. I want to see the anime version of Penalty Cow. So if Jiggly could make that happen, that'd be awesome. So challenge to the rest of everybody else who's still listening at this point. Challenge, draw Penalty Cow, or draw your own comic strip of Penalty Cow. I got it up on my Twitter. You can follow me on FireEngine97 at FireEngine97. You'll see it there. Links in the description. Yeah, you were asking about that. I'm like, I just totally made it. It's just something silly. I made a GIF out of it. I'm like, oh, cool, fun.
We love creativity.
DJ saying he's gonna go grab Mickey. He's on the way. Oh, dude, put it back! No mouse napping. Nani. Jiggly saying there's voice mods. Yeah, we know. So we'll work on that here. We're getting Tyrus on the show, some voice mods, and hopefully in the future, and we'll figure that out. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Honestly, I appreciate you guys' support so much. Honestly, the likes, the subscribes, the retweets, the everything. You guys joining us for the live show, talking soccer with us here at Spitting Fire YT. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Jiggly saying his drawing qualities, and Jiggly saying he's very little drawing ability. Dude, did you see my drawings? Are you kidding me?
I think that's what he's talking about.
He's got to be talking about mine.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he's got to be talking about my drawing quality.
I'm checking it out right now
because it is very it's not good. I'm not a drawer in the least. I was just having fun on MS Paint. Jiggly said he saw the first season though of Nani.
James.
What?
That's fantastic.
Was it? Let's retweet.
That's retweet worthy.
Penalty
right
Cow. Let's get it going, boys and girls.
That's
Chicago Fire's own new mascot, Penalty Cow. I give it to you. Let's have some fun. That's
great. Good job.
From what I see in your post, your anime taste is different than mine for sure. Anime? I'll shout out Trigun. Trigun's a great anime show.
Oh man, I just started watching one. It was Oh, what was it called? It was about these giant like demons that entrap this small little community.
Oh my god, that's like 18 different animes.
I know, man, but I've never been into anime. I just watched one episode.
Hunter X Hunter.
Are those all names of anime?
Yeah, these are all. And actually, One Piece. I just checked out One Piece. That's actually really good. It's like about pirates. It's weird. I liked it. Having fun. Trigun's about cowboys. It's awesome. It's my favorite anime. It's like 26 episodes. The great thing about Trigun, 26 episodes, and then it ends. It's over. It's all you need. It's done. It's kind of like Cowboy Bebop, actually. Both awesome animes.
Duly noted. Might have to get into it.
Oh man, Jiggly, we're having a freaking okay. Wrong podcast. Wrong podcast. All right, boys and girls, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Men in Red, thank you for joining us. Everybody in the live chat, thank you.
Pleasure.
Everybody, smash that button, smash that like button, subscribe, retweet, follow us on Twitter, follow us on any other podcast. If you can't listen to it on YouTube, save your data, all that jazz. Fired Up Footballers, we'll see you guys later. And awesome show. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Men in Red. That was awesome. Thank you, live stream. Thank you, Chicago Fire. And thank you, Tony Miola, for the follow back earlier. Tony Miola.
Ooh. He doesn't follow me.
Ooh.
Jealous.
I got lucky. Let's go.
Yeah,
all right, boys and girls, that was awesome. Great show. We will see you guys later on the next time. Spitting Fire White Tea.
Well, James.
Yep.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man.
It's always a good time.
Dude, it is a pleasure having you on, man. And good luck with the podcast. Have me on. We'll launch you.
Of course. Absolutely. Info about that should be coming within the week. So, good stuff.
Dude, what a freaking show.
Yeah, man. That was fun.